Hi guys, good evening. Welcome back once again to The Edward. I'm your host Eddie, and in tonight's video I will be discussing what I thought of the latest and sadly final episode of season 1. But not to worry, because earlier today at Comic-Con we were indeed treated to the news I was hoping we'd get confirmed for us. The Walking Dead Dead City is coming back for a second season, which means that this wasn't the series finale, but the season finale that we got yesterday. I was at the movies last night, so I didn't have a chance to watch the Dead City Season 1 finale till just now. Finished it, really enjoyed it. Before I begin, of course, this is going to be a spoiler-filled review, so if you're not caught up on The Walking Dead Dead City by the latest and most recent episode, which is episode 6 of Season 1, you do not want to keep watching or listening, as I will be discussing spoilers, plot details, character stuff, all that jazz. That being said, you have been warned. Let's dive right back into it. Overall, this was a pretty solid and satisfying season finale. Excuse me. Pardon me. The only thing that I couldn't quite get or figure out, not that it really mattered because, you know, the truth came out and all that jazz, and they had their little scuffle and moment. I wasn't surprised at all they scuffled one more time. But how did Negan figure out Maggie was lying to him about the Croat not stealing her people's grain and needing Negan this whole time in exchange for Herschel? That I couldn't quite figure out. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter because Negan figured out for himself, which is why they fought, but he was still willing to go along with it to save the kid's life, you know, as long as Ginny was okay, which, thank you, Armstrong, for taking care of that. Although it seems like Armstrong may have his own problems now with his own people back at New Babylon, with that boss lady of his inquiring about the methane that she seemingly knows about, the rich supply of methane that the Croat and his people have flowing under the streets of New York City, which makes you wonder, how did New Babylon know about that? And it'll be interesting to see what becomes of Armstrong in season 2 if he appears again. Hopefully he does. Same with Ginny, and obviously Negan and Maggie will reappear. Hopefully so will the Doma and the Croat. Speaking of the Doma, I guess she's the real power behind the mask, if the mask is the Croat. And she seems to be the one who's running the show, but not for long, as she clearly made it very clear she wants Negan to run the show, as in Negan, leader of the Saviors of the Sanctuary Negan. Old Negan, like the Negan we saw a few episodes ago when he scared the hell out of the Croats people by slicing that guy's throat open and then his guts and spilling them out all over everybody. That's the Negan that the Doma wants back to be in charge. And I guess they think with him in charge, they could truly unite the entire island or the city of New York with all the other groups of refugees and survivors under one flag, under the flag of Negan, and prepare them for what they think is a war is coming. And I guess they're concerned about people learning of their natural resources, which in this case is methane. And New Babylon seems to know about it, so that could be setting the stage for a confrontation between New York and New Babylon, with Maggie and Negan both caught in the center of it. That could make for some interesting storytelling. And I guess Negan doesn't have much of a choice, because the Doma made it pretty clear, you don't do what I want, which is be your old self again. I'm going to go back to Herschel and cut him up into more pieces, because she showed him Herschel's little pinky toe, which Maggie doesn't seem to be aware of yet, but she is aware that something is going on, or something happened between her son and the Doma based on the drawings or the sketches that Herschel presumably made while in captivity. I love that final shot, which is like the split face effect, where half of this side is Negan, this side is Maggie, showing that their fates are still intertwined, that they are still, as much as they don't want to be, still connected to each other. Not necessarily forever, but for the time being, their fates and their destinies remain intertwined, which would explain why we got a season 2 renewal, because obviously the story's not over yet. But I really enjoyed this episode quite a bit. Feels like it could have used a few more walkers. There were some walkers, but I could have used a few more, maybe a few more scenes where they were attacking Maggie and Negan or attacking a smaller group of people. But, there were some walkers in this episode, but I guess the focus of the episode would make sense to be more on the characters and wrapping up their season 1 storylines. I say season 1 because clearly all of these characters could easily return and hopefully will return for season 2, which was just announced and renewed earlier today at Comic-Con in San Diego. So that's exciting. I'm really thrilled that the show's getting a second season because I really enjoyed this first season. And, I love Maggie, I love Negan, and I'm liking these other characters so far. Even the bad guys, the Croat, as creepy as he is a likable villain. And I'm curious to see what's going to happen in season 2, as I hope you guys are as well. So what did you guys think of this episode? Oh, one more thing I want to add. I also love how Negan acknowledges and tells Maggie, you can't get over it, you won't get over it, you shouldn't get over it, him killing Glenn, because it's just too much to bear to live with. And I like how Maggie kind of takes his words at heart, but she still offers them to the Croat all the same. But clearly she feels conflicted about giving him up. Despite all the pain he's caused her whole life, she still feels somewhat bad about giving him up. But she'll have a chance to make up for it in season 2, I'm sure. So we'll see what happens there. But I really love that line and the look on Maggie's face when Negan said that to her, that you shouldn't, saying you shouldn't get over it, no matter how many times he apologizes. That was pretty profound, I thought. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the season finale as much as I did. What did you think of it? I'd love to hear your thoughts and feelings on it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your night and your weekend if I don't see you again. I got a couple more videos coming later this evening and throughout this weekend as well, so stay tuned for those. Have an awesome rest of your night. The Walking Dead, Dead City Season 1 is now streaming in its entirety on AMC Plus. Season 2 was just announced, so hopefully production will get underway as soon as the strike business is wrapped up in hopefully a few months. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend, everybody, and night. And of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.